Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today's video is about the making of my own LEGO minifigure, my Sigfig, which you see in front of me. And this is part of a class project where I'm exploring South Asian representation in LEGO, so like Indian and Pakistani characters. So I'm going to start off by just showing pretty much every minifigure that LEGO has made of characters that are from those regions. So here are all of the minifigures that I own. I'm missing the two variants of Apu from The Simpsons, although I'm fine with not owning him since he is kind of a walking stereotype. And then I'm also missing Raj from The Big Bang Theory. I actually own the minifigure, but what I did was I used that face for my own minifigure since that was pretty much the only head that I could find that would fit me. It doesn't really look like me, but it's the closest I could find, so that's why I don't have him. As for the rest of the figures, we have the two variants of Simon Masrani from the Jurassic World line. This one is from 2015, while this one is from 2019. Then we've got Bodhi Rook from Star Wars The Rogue One movie in the middle. He's played by actor Riz Ahmed. Simon Masrani is played by Irfan Khan, who sadly passed away earlier this year. Then over here, we have Padma and Parvati Patil from Harry Potter. And these are the only minifigures to have like culturally appropriate outfits, which is really cool to see because they're wearing lengas. I thought they were wearing saris, but they're not. I forgot what they had been wearing in the movies. And then at the back, we probably have the most popular South Asian character in like pop culture, and that is Kamala Khan or Miss Marvel. So we're going to take a look at these characters separately, first the guys and then the girls. So here are the three male figures. Now, Bodhi Rook isn't technically, of South Asian descent because he's an alien in Star Wars or like a humanoid alien, whatever, but he's not from Earth, basically. However, he's still played by an actress of South Asian descent, which is why I included him here. You can see that he has a slightly different skin tone from the Simon Masrani variants. And Simon Masrani, it was really cool to see him in Jurassic World, just like having like an Indian CEO be running Jurassic World was really cool. And I do really like the minifigures, although you can see they only include one face print for him. So here's the front face, and then he does have a scared face on the other side. It's kind of a shame that they didn't make other prints for him because my biggest problem when making my Sigfig was that I couldn't find a good face to represent myself. Although, Irfan Khan is 30 years older than me, so that wouldn't really have worked anyway, even if they had made another face print. But still, I mean, those two minifigures were 4 years apart. It really would have been nice if they had made different face prints. Then as for Bodhi Rook, like I said, he's a slightly different skin color. He's a little bit lighter. I don't know the exact name of the color used here. We're going to be taking a look at Bricklink in a few minutes, just to look at all of the other like skin colors that they make. And then Bodhi Rook does have an alternate face, but again, not that useful because that's like a very Star Wars face, like with the goggles on and everything. I like these minifigures a lot more, so I already took a look at Padma and Parvati in my Harry Potter Advent Calendar videos, so you guys can go check those out if you want to see like full reviews and my full thoughts on these minifigures. But I just really love how they're actually wearing Indian clothing because that's really unique. Again, that's not something that we see in LEGO, which is kind of a shame because, like Chinese culture is very well represented in LEGO. There are so many Chinese minifigures. They have multiple themes dedicated to that. Ninjago's a mix of China and Japan. So it would be nice to see LEGO do something with Indian characters. But like I said, these minifigures are really awesome. They're wearing lengas that are like inverted colors of each other. So they're vibrant coral and dark pink. And then you can actually see that on their faces, they are wearing bindis between their eyebrows. That's also a really nice touch. It does limit the reusability of the heads, but I have absolutely no problem with that because it's awesome to see LEGO minifigures wearing bindis. And then around the back, they do have some more of that detail. But yeah, it's really nice to see Indian minifigures like that in LEGO. Now, as for Miss Marvel, she's a very unique LEGO minifigure. She has an exclusive like torso mold. Well, it's not exclusive. It was made for her, but it was reused on Elastigirl from The Incredibles. So you can see she doesn't have normal arms. She has like these tube arms. And that's because if you don't know her power set, it's that she can kind of go elastic. Not like fully elastic, I think. She mostly just makes her hands bigger, which is why she's got these giant fist pieces on the end of her arms. But this rubber piece is like completely flexible. You can do whatever you want with it, and you can also like pull it through her body to make her like punch people and stuff. That's really cool. And if you remove that piece, you can see that she does have normal minifigure hands on the end, so it kind of ends up just looking like a straight out horizontal minifigure arm. So I really love this because Miss Marvel is a very recent character. You know, Kamala Khan was introduced in 2014, so she's not a character that's been around since the 70s like Iron Man. And so it was really awesome of LEGO to make a minifigure of her so soon after her debut, because they made this minifigure in 2017. It's kind of hard to get her to stand up with these tube arms. But this minifigure was made in 2017, and she had only been in comics. She is getting a TV show now. She's getting an original series on Disney Plus that's going to release in late 2021. But before that, she's been like not unknown, but you know, she's been restricted to comics. She hasn't been in blockbuster movies like all of these other minifigures that have been made. So I was really surprised when LEGO made her, and I was really pleased that they went all out like this, because this is one of the best minifigures that LEGO has ever made for Marvel. And that's just really nice to see. Her face print, she's obviously a superhero, so she's wearing a domino mask. But if you take off her hairpiece, she does have an alternate face as well. And again, it's really great to see a South Asian superhero and a LEGO minifigure of her. And I really hope that we get more minifigures in 2021, because Eternals is coming out and Kumail Nanjiani is playing Kingo, so I really hope that we get a minifigure of him so that we can expand our selection a little bit. Now, we're looking at Raj over here. So like I said, he came in a Big Bang Theory set that was from LEGO Ideas, and again, he's one of the only Indian characters that LEGO has made, and pretty much the only like younger Indian male character, because like I said, Simon Masrani is pretty old, so I can't really use his face for my Sigfig. So that's why I ended up choosing Raj's face. Although I still don't like it because the eyebrows are way too thick compared to mine. I wear glasses, he doesn't. And it's just kind of disappointing because it makes it really hard to make yourself as a minifigure when there are such limited options. And then for completion's sake, I thought we would take a look at Apu as well. So this is the one that came in Minifigures Series 2, I think, of The Simpsons, or it might have been Series 1. No, actually, I think it was Series 1 because it was in 2014. But again, you can't use him because they have like those really weird specialized molded heads, not regular minifigure heads. And then they did make a second one that was exclusive to the Quickie Mart direct-to-consumer set. But again, the pieces that Apu came with aren't really useful, and he is kind of like a negative stereotype of Indian people, so even if they were useful, I wouldn't really want to use him. Now, here are all of the minifigure heads that LEGO has made in the color Medium Nougat. That's the color used for most Indian characters in LEGO. It was used for Raj, Simon Masrani, Kamala Khan, whereas Bodhi Rook and then the Patil twins use a lighter color Nougat, so we'll look at those heads in a minute. But for now, I just wanted to take you guys through like all of the head options. This is how I searched for heads to make myself into a figure. And as you can see, just like right off the bat, just seeing the first couple, they're not very useful. So like there's this head from Catman that's got like the white bandana. Then we have like these aliens from Star Wars that's, you know, not very useful. Then we have this head, and so this is like where part of the problem comes into play, because Medium Nougat, while it's used for Indian characters, it's also used for characters played by light-skinned African-American actresses and actors. So this is actually Valkyrie's head from Thor Ragnarok, and like I said, this color is used on a lot of African-American LEGO minifigures, which is great, but like you can't like reuse them for Indian characters too. And honestly, I feel like it's a little bit light for certain characters. Like for Valkyrie, I think that skin tone choice is a little bit light. And I do prefer it when they use like reddish brown like they did on minifigures like Storm. Although again, to represent lighter skinned characters like Zendaya's MJ, it does make perfect sense. Then we have figures like this. That's Wu's head. Or no, sorry, this isn't Dr. Wu's head. This is another Star Wars guy, I think. But the point is, there's just not a lot of variation. That's Dean Thomas from Harry Potter. That's Tonto from The Lone Ranger. So they do represent a lot of ethnicities with like this one color. It just seems that they don't really represent Indian ethnicities. And that kind of sucks because, like I said, it would be nice if we had more options and more face prints. And that's something I felt about reddish brown heads as well, because Maria Rambeau was exclusive to, we're going to look her up right now. Maria Rambeau was exclusive to a Captain Marvel set at San Diego Comic-Con. And this really irritated me because she had a brand new face. This face is only found in this minifigure that came in an SDCC exclusive set that's impossible to get for most people. And this is one of the only faces that Lego has made for black women. That irritates me beyond belief because it's like, I wish we had more faces like that. I really want to be able to like have that readily available. That's such a useful face print, and it's locked behind this super limited edition set that you either had to be at an event to win or you have to pay like $300 for on the aftermarket, and that just really sucks. So finishing up with the nougat heads, you can see that the rest of them are just like a mix of different ethnicities. So we have like Batgirl and Commissioner Gordon from the Lego Batman movie. Those were voiced by African American actors. Then as we get further down, you can see we have like zombies and like, Chima characters and stuff like that. We've got MJ from Far From Home, like I was talking about. That face actually probably wouldn't be bad if you wanted to use it on an Indian minifigure. And then all the way down at the bottom, we have Simon Masrani's head over here. And I thought I saw Raj's head, but I might have scrolled back. Oh, here it is. So yeah, that does it for the nougat minifigure heads. And I'm sure that you guys can see, like Raj's face was really like the best option for me. And again, they barely make any minifigures with glasses. We do have this head from Jurassic World with glasses. That's really awesome. But yeah, Lego just doesn't have a ton of variation, which is sad. But I'm going to touch on this more in a second because about like how they could be adding stuff like this into their original themes. Here are the nougat minifigure heads. We're just going to go through these more quickly. We have all of these creepy old sports heads. I don't really want to look at those. Then that's like Jasmine from the Disney series 2. So they do use it for like Middle Eastern characters because I'm pretty sure this is the same skin. Yeah, this is the same skin color that they use for Aladdin. But, I don't like this skin color quite as much for Indian characters. I think it's like a little bit light. So again, it's fitting if people are that light, but like for my minifigure, I was really looking for just the medium nougat color because that's pretty much the closest to my skin tone. But yeah, these are the rest of the nougat head options. So like I said, there's not quite as many as there were with the medium nougat ones. All right, so now I want to touch on Lego Friends. So over here we have all of the medium nougat mini doll heads. You can see that there are 19 of them. Now, Lego Friends is unique because it's the only original Lego theme that doesn't use yellow-skinned minifigures. It uses characters of normal skin tones like licensed sets. So that breaks with Lego's tradition of depicting everyone as yellow-skinned, and Lego Friends has a ton of diversity. Ever since like 2018 when they refreshed the theme, you've always had Andrea as the African-American girl, and that's what most of these heads are in medium nougat. Most of these are Andrea's faces or people related to Andrea. Then we had like Olivia, who I believe is depicted as Latina. Then there's Emma, who I think is meant to be East Asian. And then we have Stephanie and Mia, both of whom are white. So there's a lot of diversity in that core group of 5 friends. So I think it's kind of odd that Lego hasn't made like an Indian character in Lego Friends, like an explicitly Indian character that's not even like, I'm not saying as a main friend, but just like as a surrounding character. There's a lot of diversity in Lego Friends, which is great because it reflects like the real world, but there's not really, I don't think I've ever seen like an Indian character just like thrown into a set. Now it could be that like maybe we just don't realize that they're trying to depict an Indian character because like I said, they're using the same skin tone for Indian characters and black characters. So that could make like the mini dolls more ethnically ambiguous. But I think it would be really cool to see like an explicitly Indian character in Lego Friends, given how many different ethnicities they represent in the sets. So lastly, I want to talk about Lego collectible minifigures, because what I've been talking about, like having diversity, having like different skin tones, different faces and everything, that's impossible for Lego to do in themes like Lego City, Lego Creator, Lego Ninjago, because Ninjago and Monkey Kid, all of the minifigures are yellow, but they're all like Asian, especially in Monkey Kid. Like you can tell because I mean the entire theme is set in China. So even though all of the minifigures are the same skin tone, you can tell that there are supposed to be like different ethnicities and stuff represented in those sets. Now, that's not to say that LEGO should just start throwing like traditionally dressed Indian characters into Lego City in the middle of like a road, but it's hard because most of the minifigures that I've been talking about, like the twins from Harry Potter, Mizrani from Jurassic World, Kamala Khan from Marvel, all of those come from big franchises, and big franchises don't have Indian characters. So Lego's done great by making minifigures of like the only South Asian characters, but I do think that like they could do like a little bit more, and that's why we're coming into the collectible minifigures, because from day one in the collectible minifigure series, they've represented people of different ethnicities, even though everyone is yellow. Because in series 1, you already have like a Mexican super wrestler, you have a Native American, you have a ninja, and that theme has continued throughout a lot of these series. Like we have that like mariachi man, we've got an Egyptian pharaoh, we've got a like judo karate master, and again, like this is present throughout pretty much every series. There's a hula girl, there's a tribal chief. Those are just the first 3. There's the kimono girl. That's one of my favorite minifigures ever, just because she was like the first collectible minifigure I got. And again, throughout all of these series, there's no like Indian characters, which I think is like weird, because again, they're representing a ton of different cultures. There's Cleopatra, there's a gladiator. That's already 2 Greek and 2 Egyptian characters in just the first 5 series. And then if we go all the way down, first I want to touch on series 7. We have an Aztec warrior here. That's an awesome character. But if we go all the way down to where we are today, okay, it's all the way like here at the bottom. Just kidding, it's on the second page. But going all the way down to series 21, which is coming out in January, like we have like this singer character that looks clearly based off of like the Carnival singers in Rio. And it just like mystifies me how we've gotten hundreds of these minifigures. Oh, and series 21 also has a second Aztec warrior. It mystifies me how we've gotten hundreds of these collectible minifigures over like more than 10 years. It's been like 11 years since the theme started, and there's been like no Indian characters. Like, why can't they make like an ancient Indian warrior if they're out here making 3 ancient Egyptian, 3 ancient Aztec, 3 ancient Roman warriors? Like, they're making all of these warriors from like different cultures. So like, why can't we see an Indian one? Like, we have culture too. So I think that kind of sucks, because again, it is hard to like represent these things in yellow skin, like theoretically, but not in something like the collectible minifigure series. So I'm really disappointed that they haven't done that yet, because again, we've gotten duplicates now of like Aztec warriors, and you know, like India is the second most populous country. There's a huge Indian market. I am sure that people would buy like Indian Lego minifigures. So yeah, that's a shame to me. I don't understand again why it takes them so long to do it, because it's in every series you have historical things. Like this is series 20. You have like a European knight, you have a Viking, you've got just a piñata boy, but you know he's wearing like a sombrero and a poncho. They could be doing stuff like that for Indian characters, and I think it's a shame that they aren't, and I really hope that they do, because you know I want to see that kind of stuff in Lego. All right, well, that does it for the making of my Sigfig video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know that like this is like kind of a weird topic, just, you know, diversity in toys, but I think it's really interesting, and I hope that, like I said, Lego continues to advance and, you know, represent more cultures in Lego, because the Chinese New Year and Monkey Kid sets are some of the most like gorgeous and detailed products that Lego has ever made. And it would be great to see them put that same kind of attention and care on other things as well. And I mean, like even Ninjago, like Ninjago's been running for 10 years now, and it started more Japanese. Now it's become more of just kind of an Asian mishmash. But I hope that, you know, we get some like Indian stuff in there soon, because I would really like to see that. So you can check out the other half of my project for school on my website, goldenninja3000.com. That's just kind of looking at the history of general Asian representation in Lego. And yes, I do mention Ninjago and Monkey Kid later on in that like little essay. But that's it for today. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.